Numbers fell to levels not seen in decades. The number of murders in the city dipped to its lowest point since the 1950s. This statistic gives the NYPD a lot to live up to, let alone surpass in 2018. I spoke with Chief of Patrol Rodney Harrison, who explained at the core of their principles and goals for 2018 is a concept called neighborhood policing.
You have steady police officers assigned to that one area. And because what happens is they're developing relationships, and there's a level of intimacy, and they begin to know the residents, and they're working together to make sure any issues that come up are being resolved.
We're going to go to a bakery. It was one of our first contacts we made in the community when we first started on foot.
We spent some time walking the streets with two NCOs, or Neighborhood Coordination Officers, Bramble and Buchanan, to learn about the neighborhood policing program firsthand.
It's taking officers that are generally scattered throughout the precinct every day and assigning them to the same areas consistently. So if they have an issue, if they have a problem in that area, they're aware of it. And when they respond to the job, a person doesn't have to re-explain what their problem is over and over and over. It provides a sense of consistency for the officer, and it provides a sense of consistency for the person, knowing that they know who's going to show up when they call 911.
Before the NYPD did it, law enforcement in New Orleans implemented a program of community policing. We spoke with former mayor of New Orleans, Mark Morial, to discuss the effort.
I ran with a pledge to clean up and reform the department, to break it apart and rebuild it brick by brick from top to bottom. Central to that was strong ethics, a zero tolerance policy on brutality and misconduct, and also a philosophical shift to a strategy of community-oriented policing.
Dr. Tracy Kazee is the NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Equity and Inclusion. Before that, she was the Deputy Commissioner of Training.
We are building upon change that was already beginning. We are very lucky that we have leadership that get it. They understand what's happening.
Tensions have been high in many cities across the nation in recent years as incidents of police brutality have led to public outrage. In 2014, Michael Brown in Missouri, Tamir Rice in Cleveland, and Eric Garner in New York all died at the hands of police officers.
If you're a young black man in New York City, including myself, I am eligible to be Eric Garner, period. Because that's all it takes for a police officer to attack you or to apply force. I felt.
We have different types of training as far as de-escalation, say if things are aggressive, you want to talk to people about it, bring it down to a manageable level. How you communicate with people, how we stand, your posture tells a lot, because that's your first impression on somebody. When you walk up to them, do you look like you want to fight them, or do you look like you want to have a conversation with them? Right. It depends on how you stand with them. All that is kind of taught to us from the beginning, especially now.
Can members of the community here in New York City be hopeful that, for example, something that happened to Tamir Rice is less likely to happen in New York City because of the steps that the NYPD has undertaken?
I don't know if I could go that far as of yet. What's missing in the Tamir Rice case, in the Michael Brown case, in the Eric Garner case, is accountability.
I don't think we need more contact with police. We need less and more accountability.
What's your message to the people who wonder if not just the NYPD, any police department can police itself?
We have a very robust internal affairs unit that's also overseen by a civilian unit to make sure that investigations that are done towards police officers are done correctly. I worked in internal affairs, and I learned so much regarding those investigators, and they're aggressive to make sure that some of these bad cops that we may find in this organization are taken out, and we remove them off the streets.
Certainly you've got reductions in violence in New York. I think the numbers have come down significantly, but it's important that people do not assign all the blame nor all the credit for what the situation is with public safety and crime to law enforcement. It's a wide variety of factors that goes into issues of public safety.
My question is, what about unemployment rates in the city? What about the issue of drug use in schools? All these things work in unison. It's never just cops singularly.
When you see some of the things that have happened in places like Ferguson, when you see those interactions, what do you think?
it makes me motivated. Like, I want to change that stereotype. You know, like, obviously I fit that type of stereotype, you know, a white cop in a black neighborhood. That's what I do. But I want to be that change. I want to set an example for cops that follow after me